This is State College, my school. And this is Hamilton Dormitory, my home. And this is yours truly. As you can plainly see, I have a problem. Oh, but it isn't my problem. It's Joe's. But since Joe is my roommate, well, any problem of his is a problem of mine. Part of Joe's letters. Oh, it's all right. Joe's read them to me several times. They're from their back home. Her name is Elsie. Elsie's got things figured out pretty completely.
Dearest Joe, the most wonderful thing has happened. Daddy talked to Mr. Erickson down at the furniture factory, and he says you can get a job there in the office when you graduate. So now we can go ahead and make plans. We can announce our engagement when you come home for Christmas. And then next June... Oh, Joe, isn't it exciting?
Well, that may not sound like a problem, especially since Joe still thinks a great deal of Elsie. But the trouble is, there's Anne. Joe met her a couple of months ago. Anne lives in an apartment here in town. Joe's been dating her pretty steadily. And, well, the other night, when he brought her home from a date... Here we are.
I'd ask Ann, but I know Mother's asleep. It was wonderful fun, wasn't it, Jim?
Wonderful fun.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow. Oh, Anne, I'd like you to wear this.
Joe, your pin. Oh, Joe, you're sweet. Well, I know so little about you. What are you going to do when you graduate?
Graduate? Oh, I don't see what difference that
I'm not
makes.
saying no, Joe. I'm just not saying yes just yet. I want to think about it. Good night.
But, Anne, I didn't mean... What did I mean? So I asked myself, Harvey, what did I mean? Maybe you can explain it.
Very simple.
Simple, he says.
You're asking Anne to become engaged to you, while Elsie is pushing you to make it official with her.
Well, she's not pushing me. She just takes a lot for granted. Well, she is a sweetheart, though.
But you're also in love with Anne.
Well, yeah, I really think I am.
You want my advice?
Well, what is?
Go find someone who can really advise you.
Such as?
Such as Professor Morton.
Well, yeah, he does have a class in merit, doesn't he?
He does some counseling at his home.
Yeah. Yeah. Say, maybe he can help me.
Well, there you have Joe's problem. And how he set out to solve it. No, it isn't solved yet. Professor Morton didn't make Joe's decision for him, but Joe's consulted him several times. In fact, he's over there this afternoon. And he's just getting back.
Hi, Harvey.
Hi, Joe.
Say, that Professor Morton of yours really makes a lot of sense.
So I've heard.
I've been reading those books he recommended, and, well, this afternoon I worked out a chart.
What sort of chart?
Well, it's right there in the book. You can see for yourself. I got to get dressed for dinner.
Sure, thanks, I will. Emotional maturity, family background, philosophy of life, harmony of personalities.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Those are the main points to consider in comparing the two girls. You know, in terms of which one might make the better choice as a possible wife for me.
And now you're going to explain those fancy words?
Why, sure. Now, take emotional maturity. The idea is there, Harvey, that an immature person doesn't stand a very good chance of getting along in marriage. You know, you need maturity to handle the problems that come up in marriage.
Sounds reasonable.
Now, take the chart. Maturity. Anne. How does she rate there? Well, I remember one time when we were supposed to be going out to see a certain play.
Joe, I'm all ready. I'm dying to see the play.
Well, Anne, I'm sorry, but I couldn't get to the box office till late. And, well, the tickets were all sold out.
Oh. Well, then we can't go. Come on in. We can watch television.
Okay. See what I mean? Now, that's a mature reaction. Not getting all upset over disappointment. Of course, there have been other times. There was this business of the shoes, for instance.
There they were in this store window. Once she saw them, she had to have them. Right then and there. It didn't matter that we were late and that friends were waiting for us. She had to have those shoes. Now, that was pretty immature.
Oh, well, nobody's perfect. The idea, according to Professor Morton, is to consider everything, plus and minus, and see where you come out. Now, consider Elsie. How does she rate on emotional maturity? I remember one time when I gave her a birthday present. Hi, Elsie.
Hi.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you, Joe. Just knows the scarf I wanted so very much.
Well, open the package.
Oh, it's nice.
I really did remember the scarf, but it cost quite a bit.
Don't apologize. It's really very nice.
Gee, Elsie, you're a good sport. Other times, though, she hasn't been such a good sport. Hey, did you notice that girl with Hank tonight? You know, she's really my type. I could go for her.
I suppose I'm not your type. Well, you can just go for her then.
Hey, wait, Elsie. She didn't speak to me for a week. We made up, though. But you know, it's little things like that that give you an insight into how mature a person Hey, what are you doing?
Well, Joe, how mature are you? You know, sometimes you do get upset.
You win. I guess I should be mature, too, if I'm going to get married. Well, that's something else to talk over with Professor Morton.
All right. Now, what about these next points? Family background, philosophy of life.
Well, what I've learned there is that two people have a better chance of being married, happily, if they're pretty much alike in family background and the way they look at life.
But you'll never find someone exactly like yourself.
Well, no. No, that's where the last point comes in. Harmony of personalities.
Oh, I see. If a couple can give and take, they can compromise. If they can enjoy the differences between them.
Speaking of families, what do I know about Anne's? I've only met her mother once. And that time...
Oh, Mother, this is Joe. And my mother, Mrs. Merriman. How do you do?
How do you do, Mrs. Merriman?
Mr. Foster just called, and we're going out to a late show. I gathered that. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, dear. Good night.
Good night, Anne. I wonder. Anne's folks are divorced. And Anne doesn't like the man her mother dates. That could lead to problems. Other things can lead to problems, too.
Would you care for anything else? All right, I'll get the check, sir.
Say, Anne, how would you like to go to church with me tomorrow morning?
Church? Joe, I'm afraid I've rather outgrown church.
Oh, I like it.
Then we'll go. Thank you very much, sir.
Well, maybe we aren't likely to have trouble over religious differences. Take money, though. Hey, what'd you do that for?
You didn't leave enough, Joe.
What do you mean, not enough?
Joe, it's only money.
Only. Yeah, we might have problems over money. And our family. And other things, too. I wonder if Anne and I have enough,
Harmony of personality?
harmony of personalities to see us through. Now, Elsie, you know, in some ways it's just the opposite there. I've known her family for years.
All of them. They're sort of like my folks. I get along with them. But church is another matter. Elsie takes her religion seriously. Only it isn't the same church as mine. We could have trouble over that, unless we really work it out before marriage. Money? Elsie suits me just right there. Let's me run things.
I wonder if that might mean that Elsie wouldn't carry her share of the load, planning our life together.
Well, what do you think?
Well, I think I better get going.
Hey, does this date with Anne mean she's the one you've chosen?
Well, this may surprise you, Harvey, but I haven't made my choice yet. However, Professor Morton speaks quite highly of dating as a means of getting to know a girl better before you decide.
Hey, shut the... Well, as I said at the beginning, I have a problem. And I suspect you have a problem. What sort of girl should Joe choose? What sort of girl should choose Joe? What sort of person should you choose? If you think about Joe's problem, maybe it'll help you in solving your own problem of choosing a mate. Excuse me, I was just wondering how I rate on emotional maturity.